Well, howdy folks, Hellcrix here, and welcome to Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 136. And today we're going to be talking about a 40-ton mech, the Clint. Not a bad mech. I like the Clint. I like to take it out every once in a while. It, as I said, is 40 tons in the year 3050. Comes in around 8,000, 1,100 battle value. Now, the Clint is a 696. Yes, it ticks off the old jump jets. It has 10 double heat sinks. Yeah. So basically what they did was they upgraded that thing from the standard 2Us to a little bit more upgraded equipment. So then it has 72 points of armor. Not bad, not great. It could be better with some little bit of additional stuff. It carries around a ERPPC. So it got rid of that AC5, which, you know, if you go back to episode, I don't know, what is it, 50 something, 58? The AC5 in there, it's like putting a autocannon, which a lot of tonnage wasted on an autocannon, and a medium or small mech's kind of a not so bright thing to do. I'd rather put a large laser or PPC or something in there instead. Take that extra tonnage and use it for armor or other equipment. So it carries around an ERPPC instead of the AC5, and that's in the right arm. Center torso, we have a medium pulse laser, which isn't bad. And then we have another medium pulse laser in the left torso. Then we have the jump jets in the right and left torso, right and left leg. So, what do I think about the Clint? It still has some drawbacks, and it is an improved version. So the 3U, like I said, got rid of the autocannon and upgraded, you know, with the to pulse lasers instead of a ERPPC. Now, personally, the one thing I would have done instead, which, you know, you got plenty of room on this thing, at least they could do is put on ferrofibrous armor. That's kind of a field upgrade that you can do with no problem. That any self-respecting mechanic can just upgrade all your, put them into the rig and start changing your armor over to ferrofibrous armor, which runs it, I think, it from 72 to 80, maybe 81 points of armor, which is not great, but still, it's an upgrade more than it had before. And that's just by taking your standard 4.5 tons of armor and upgrading it a little bit. Okay, so, but the way the Clint is now configured with it's a 696, got the jump jets and everything, you can maneuver around pretty good. It still falls into the category of a good recon scout mech, flanker, and now that it has that PPC, it went from doing a potential of 5 points of damage to up to 10 points of damage. Well, that's good. I like that. Just because you upgraded the weapon system, you know, from getting rid of the autocannon to a PPC. I like that. And so now you have a good flanker that can operate. It doesn't have to worry about ammunition or anything. So this thing can operate behind the lines and do convoy hunting, you know, that kind of stuff. Get in there, hit different targets, do anti-scout mode with that PPC. It's got good range. You're talking 23. So, and if they don't have any anti-mech capability with vehicles or other mechs, you can sit there and hammer away, unless they got a PPC or something, turret or something like that. Then you got to keep moving. But that kind of stuff. So that's what I like about the new Clint with the PPC instead of that autocannon. You got good operational capabilities. Now, there are a few variants out there. Let's see. Okay, they got the 2R, which lacked what they did was they got rid of the jump jets and put an AC-10 on there instead of the and a single medium laser. No, Why would you put an autocannon 10 on something when a PPC can do the same amount of damage with less tonnage? Okay, unless they worry about the 10 standard heat sinks that it had before, but even that, you know, you can add on heat sinks. You know, it's like you're ripping off a autocannon 5. You got tonnage to spare, so you could spare one for a heat sink on, just toss it on top of the with the PPC, even if it's a standard PPC. You know, you can get away with that. So I'm not a big fan of that one. Never have been. Okay, let's see. Then we got one I really like, which comes in at the 3055 era, I believe it is, which is a little bit farther down because we're talking about 3050s, but 5 years down the road, we're looking at the 5U, which is a really good mech. I like the 5U. It is still a 696, has a large ER large laser, 3 ER medium lasers, tag, and a C3 slave. Because what it did was downgraded the PPC, and then we have ferrofibers and endosteel. So basically they took the chassis, upgraded everything, and this thing runs around 134 points of armor with an ER large laser, 3 ER medium lasers, tag, and a C3 slave. So that thing turns it into a lance spotter, basically. So if you got a fire support lance behind you that's running a bunch of LRMs, this thing can do the job for you. If you have a lance that has a whole bunch of bigger weapons or anything of that nature, and you all have a system built up where you get the network with the C3, this thing could be your eyes and ears really good. Get him close, and everybody else gets to shoot at his range band if the weapon systems are in range. That's a great system. So, you know, that's one thing I really like. I like if you get into the 35 era or 3055 era, the 4U is an excellent mech to pick up and use. All right, there's nothing to be said that can be really wrong with it. It clicks off all the boxes that I like, and it has the equipment that you can use. Now, the one thing is if you have a game where you don't have a C3 slave or a C3 network, you can probably change that slave unit out and for another ER medium laser, so you're running around with 4 of them instead of 3. So yeah, that's one thing you can do with that one if you are able to change your mechs out. Now, a little bit of reconfiguration. So that's a great one. Now, we can talk about what would I do myself with the Clint. Let's look at the 4U. All right, it's 3050 era, and you have a Clint, and you want to change it with some new upgraded technology. Let's say you were a mercenary unit, and you want to upgrade it with some of this new stuff coming off the line. Look at the 4U. But we're going to be going with some slightly different equipment on this thing. You won't have the endosteel, so we're going to lose 2 tons. So we're probably going to lose the tag and the C3 slave. Okay, we ignore those at the moment. So we have a ERPPC, 2 pulse lasers, and that's, or your other one is just like your standard configuration. So what I would do is, all right, first thing, ferrofibers and double heat sinks. So now you get 10 double heat sinks. And then you got ferrofibrous armor, so that's going to kick you up a little bit there in the armor. Then I would downgrade that. Say if you got the one with the autocannon on it, flip it over to an ER large laser. So we're looking like the 4U already. So that gives us some tonnage to play with. And then you can run 3 medium lasers. Yes, 3 medium lasers, and you're still going to have the armor is going to be 134 points. So there you go. It's pretty decent mech. You got something that shoots out to 19 with that ER large laser, And you've gone from being able to do 5 points of damage with the autocannon to 8. You know, you upgraded the amount of damage you did. Now, if you really like the idea of the PPC, put an ER PPC in, you would basically have an ER PPC with a medium laser. You know, okay. But I'd prefer the ER large laser. Yeah, it's a downgrade of 2 points of damage, but, you know, and 4 hexes less range. But you're able to put in a little bit more in-close fighting type of equipment. So now you're looking at having 3 medium lasers. So technically, you can fire the ER large laser and then jump and still not worry about heat. That's the nice thing about it. At longer ranges, if you get in close with the medium lasers, and if you don't jump, let's say you run, which you're medium mech here with the 6.9.6. If you're not jumping, you're probably going to be either max moving your thing as much as possible to get as much modifiers. So let's say you're running. So we're got 18 to play with let's say the heat scale, without worrying about moving up in heat scale at all. So if you fire the large laser, that leaves you 6. So you can fire 2 of the medium lasers without any worry about heat. And then if you fire the third one, you're going up on 3. You can do that for a turn without having any problem with the heat scale. So there you go. That's, you know, pretty simple mathematics when it comes to it. So you can do that for a whole complete turn. So in the second turn, depending if the weapon systems are in range, you might actually think about just firing the 3 medium lasers and not the large laser. It just depends on how you want to go. By depending on the how the numbers come out, you're probably going to be firing the large laser and 2 medium lasers and try to cool off some, or firing 1 medium laser and getting rid of all the heat that you incurred in the previous one. So there you go. That's kind of like how you look at it. So you could either fire 3 medium lasers if the fire solution is really good and really cool off, or if you prefer to hammer somebody with 8 points instead of 5, then you go with the large laser and a single medium laser. And then you can go back to it's kind of like the 5-1, 5-3 type of deal. If you run. Now, if you're jumping, that throws the whole thing out the door. So you drop down to 14. So you could probably, if you jump in behind somebody, I'd most likely, if you got good firing solution, just fire the 3 medium lasers. So that's how you do your heat management. That's how you think about it. Now, if you're one of those individuals that prefer to keep firing every single weapon you have and then turn yourself into a giant glowing glowworm, well, at least you don't have to worry about ammo blowing up on you. But you start running to that point where you're forced to do nothing but jumping to keep your movement modifiers, and then you're going to be adding on the hit modifiers. So it becomes to the point where you can't do anything, and then you shut down, and then they kill you. So there you go, which I've seen happen many times in many different games over the years. So if you're a person that likes to cause problems to yourself, go ahead, do it. Now, let's see if there's anything else with this. I don't think so. That pretty much sums up the Clint pretty good. It's a good mech. If you do a few modifications to it, it even becomes an even better mech. So if you have your choices between the old Clint and the 3050 Clint, which is the 3U, I'd take the 3U every time. Much better mech than the original. Now, if I had a choice between the 3U, the 4U, or as I like to call it, the 5U, and 3050, I would take the one variant that I described with the large laser first. Then if I have another choice, the next one would be the 4U, which is even, I think, better than the one I described, because it has endo steel on it. And when you're able to do that, you know, that's a factory upgrade You know, if you're a mercenary unit, your odds of getting a factory upgrade anytime soon before the house is due, that's, you got to pay the money out to get it. So eventually you can, but you know, immediately upgrading your stuff from new equipment as the stuff comes off the line, you know, you can get by upgrade packages from the different factories. You know, you got to pay the money through the nose, but you can get it done. And with a little bit of salvage and everything too, it is possible to upgrade some of these. You know, well, yeah, we had a during one of our campaigns when we were facing the clans, we picked up a whole bunch of clan equipment, and one of the times I had a Clint that I put a clan large pulse laser on instead of the auto cannon. So that was one of the upgrades I did with one of the ones I had in one of the previous campaigns years ago. That worked out pretty good until the thing got nuked in one of the games that we played. Yeah, it took like a couple ERPPCs and a Gauss cannon right to the chest. It was done. It ended its day pretty quickly, but yeah, that was a fun game. But you know, that's the breaks when you're playing in a campaign like that. So, all right, if you got anything you like to do with the Clint or any type of upgrades you've done over the years, put her down below. Like and subscribe and share with everybody, and we will talk with you later. Hope you guys enjoy this. We'll see you in the next one. Hellcracks out.